The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, we do encourage you to like and share them on Facebook because he's not just preaching to the choir. It's Rudy Howard's African American Scene, presented each week at this time by Howard Insurance in Port St. Lucie and hosted by Rudy Howard.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Always glad to be with you here on a Wednesday night. My. Boy, there sure is a lot of stuff going on. And it feels really weird out there. Carol and I was talking about it. And when you're out in the street, it does feel weird. And, you know, when you go into the... I saw my first coronavirus incident the other day. I was at the Cumberland Farms. And there was a lady standing in line, and another guy came in the door, and he stood right behind this lady, and the lady freaked. She cussed him, and I was standing there, and everybody else, because everybody else was doing the distance thing, you know?
Yeah, and somebody was out of the compliance there.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
He got close to her, and she gave him a cussing out. It was early in the morning, too. I said, oh, boy.
He's lucky that's all he got.
Right. I said, what a way to start today. And then a buddy of mine happened to be in there at the same time. He said, well, Ruth, that's a good way to start the day, huh? I said, yeah, she was pretty animated. And then my assistant, Alina, was in the store, in the Walgreens yesterday. And... she was just oblivious. You know, if you go to Walgreens, they have tape on the floors where you're supposed to stand and wait. Excuse me. And she had gone over the tape, and there was a lady there, and she went ballistic. Wanted to know, why is she violating the rule? I said, oh, my God. I think
Were the tape pieces like 6 feet apart in the line?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you've been in the Walgreens, you'll see they put gray masking tape on the floor like 6 feet apart, so you know when you're waiting in line, you know you're supposed to stand behind the little taped area.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I think my poor assistant, I know her. She didn't do that on purpose. She just wasn't paying attention because she's going to Walgreens like she normally would. And didn't notice, she should have noticed, because when I went in, I did, that everybody was kind of spaced out and backed up. But anyway. So, the country's going nuts. And I got to tell you, boy, I'm glad I have a partner. So when I'm shut in with Mrs. Howard, and that's not all so bad. At least at the moment, it's not so bad anyway.
I was going to say, as long as everything runs smoothly.
Yeah. But, you know, this is one of them times when you have to thank the Lord for your blessings, because I got plenty of space in my house. I don't have a giant house, but I have a roomy house, so it's not like I'm cramped in or anything like that, and we know we appreciate that fact. Now, let me tell you, Greg left this for me. They sent a postcard here, President Trump's Coronavirus Guidelines for America. State and follow directions of the state and local authorities. If you feel sick, stay at home. If your children are sick, keep them at home. If you're an older person or have a serious underlying health condition, stay home and away from other people. Work or study from home. Avoid social gatherings. Use pickup or delivery options. Avoid discretionary travel. Do not visit nursing homes. And always practice good hygiene. Those are the recommendations coming from the president.
Don't forget to wash your hands.
Yeah,
That's
that's the good hygiene
The
part.
the sanitizers are all right, but hot water and soap too. You don't have to have fancy sanitizers. It's not that hard to understand. Just the basic steps. You the things that you do throughout the day. And if you might not have a cold even, but you might sneeze or cough once in a while. And where do you usually do so? On your hand or in your hand or your elbow sleeve. So wash your hands all the way up to your elbows.
Yeah, that's true.
And keep it tuned right here because we've got some information going on this station. Amazing. Sue Ellen just did a show in here that's going to run this weekend. She had a lady from the health department and one of our county commissioners, and that's our official access show for this week, Sue Ellen.
Yeah, I saw Sean leaving.
Yeah.
When I was coming in, yeah. Normally we would have ran to each other and shook hands and gave a hug and standing in the parking lot, we just waved at each other.
There's a time and a place for all of that now,
yeah,
and it's not now. Yeah.
Boy, it's going to really be hard at church when we open back up because in the beginning of church, we always have a fellowship time.
And how many hugs on an average do you see in church on a Sunday morning?
Oh man, when they play the music for the fellowship time, all you're doing is walk around shaking hands and hugging your church mates and kissing them on the cheek. We've been doing that for years. It's going to be interesting.
Old habits are hard to break.
Yeah.
Especially the good ones.
Right. So listen, here are my topics for tonight. If this is the first time you listen to the show, I give you topics for you to call in about. And then I'll go back and get underneath some of these topics. But here are my topics for tonight. Did Trump fire the pandemic response team? Did Trump fire the pandemic response team? 2, the coronavirus lies. 3, Spanish language spoken in the United States. That's going to be very interesting for you. 4, an email I got from patriotic millionaires regarding the relief funding that's about to be dispersed.
That's interesting. You've said some things about patriotic millionaires on the show before. Are they responding or?
Yeah. I guess I must be on their email address because they sent me. I got a direct email. I was very pleased to get it, and I will share the content of that email with everybody. Okay. And 5, buybacks run amok. Okay. Yeah.
The toilet paper hoarders found out from Costco yesterday. No refunds.
Yeah.
So on the swamp shop this morning, we suggested if you're mad at yourself for hoarding all that toilet paper and you can't get a refund, donate it to your nearest food bank, right?
Yeah.
That would be a good idea.
I saw today on Facebook a fight in the supermarket in Australia. The lady had a shopping cart full of toilet paper. And the lady wanted 1 pack of the toilet paper that was filled up in the shopping cart. And the lady that had it was not going to give her 1 pack.
Oh, the compassion of these people. It's amazing.
They started fighting. They had a physical fight. The manager had to come over and break it up, and he called the cops on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
People acting strange. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, and some of you are not going to like it, and that's okay. So you can just call up and get after me if you don't like what I'm going to say. A lot of this is because they can't figure out what to believe. And I'm going to get into that. He says one thing, and then you got the health officials that say something else. And then so now, on top of frustration from being sheltered, you have the additional burden of trying to figure out what's true and what's not true. And, if you wanted to see how to do it, if anybody has seen Governor Cuomo from New York, man, what leadership he has demonstrated. He sets it out there. He tells you the good and the bad and the ugly. He doesn't sugarcoat it. And, you walk away from, whenever I turn away from one of his press conferences, I feel like I got accurate information, and I feel like I know what's going on in New York. I still have a lot of very close friends in New York, so I have an interest in what's going on there. And if you want to call in, that number is 340-1590. That's 340-1590. Did Trump fire the U.S. pandemic response team? The answer is true. He did. And we have Paul on line 1. Yes, sir.
Hey, Rudy.
Yes.
Glad to see you hanging in there with all of the junk going on. I'm trying to be nice about it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm kind of dumb with this, but what, like we have hurricanes and stuff like that, and may not be able to find water or a certain kind of food stuff, but we've had all these other flus like SARS and swine flu, on and on down through history. And I don't ever remember like the hoarding and the collapse of the economy and all this other stuff. So what am I missing? What people act animals like it's their last day on earth, emptying the shelves and being nasty to one another. I don't know. What am I missing? Enlighten me, please.
Well, I'll tell you, Paul, it seems to me people are already apprehensive and concerned, and I put myself in that category, especially since I'm in that age category. But I think all the uncertainty is what's causing all the angst. In a moment like this, when you have a lot of things going on, you really need clear, concise, and direct information. And you have the president saying one thing, and then you have one of the scientists step up behind the president after what he just said and gently tears down part of what the president just said. Now that adds to confusion and frustration for people. And I think that's part of what causes the anxiety. And I think if everybody was getting straight and clear messages that were not vacillating, I think there would be less angst.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like the information is fragmented, and a lot of it is, hearsay. And 1 minute you get a glimmer of hope, and the next minute, oh no, sorry, but yesterday we made a mistake. It's not really that way today.
Exactly.
It's like you don't know what to believe anymore. You take it one day at a time, and whatever comes your way, I guess that's what it is. I mean, not being selfish, but I mean, I don't know any other way to really do it. But anyway, well, I appreciate your comments on that. And,
well,
hang up now, but I'll listen to you as time goes on. Thank you very much.
Okay, Paul, thank you for calling. And we got Marty on line 3. Yes, sir.
Marty, go right ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm on my way up to the emergency care. I'm not feeling so good. Want to see if they'll give me an opportunity to get one of these tests. But I want to point about something else. I had a very ugly experience talking about hoarding. On Saturday, I went up north on US 1 to the new dollar store. You know where that one is? It's past Papa Louie's a little bit up on US 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went up there. It's fairly new, so I went in there, and they had toilet paper and they had paper towels. I didn't have much at home, so I figured let me go in there. And when I went in, and I'm only mentioning race because it was a fact. I went in, and it was a black woman, I'd say in her 30s, with who I found later was her daughter. They both had shopping carts, and I would say each of them probably they had good pick. They had Scott, they had Angel Soft. So anyway, each one, there were three women. Each one probably had 4 3-packs each, as well as paper towels and water. And there was a black gentleman who probably had the same amount. So a lot of stuff. So when I got on, I didn't have any, and I saw the manager, nice guy, and I said, hey, I thought you're supposed to have 3. And he said, yeah. And I said, what's the problem? I said, well, take a look. I said, these people went out with all this. He said, yeah. And I said, they're putting it in one trunk. There's one trunk out there in the car, and they're putting everything in one trunk. So he said, oh, no. So he went out, and the lady who you're putting it in the trunk, it was her, the daughter, and the other lady, all in one car. And he said to them, hey, lady, what are you doing? Man, and let me tell you, I'm 71, and I came from Newark, New Jersey. I've been here 25 years. I was up in Newark when the riots were there. And this lady went absolutely insane on this manager. I mean, I'm no choir boy, but she started saying, you MFer, how dare you, blah, 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 blah. The daughter started. I mean, it was downright ugly. My sister stayed in the car. So I said to the guy, I used to work security up in Kmart, and retail security, and I said to the manager, you don't have to take this stuff, private property, call the cop, and if you don't want it here, just go escort her out for trespass or whatever. The guy next to me, the black guy, said, who the F are you trying to call the police, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, look, she can't make a scene in the guy's store. She did something wrong, and they just didn't let up. And I'm telling you, that was an ugly, ugly scene. So I just wanted to get your comment on that, because this hoarding is going on. Eventually, now I'll give you the contrast, I went to the dollar store across from me. I live near the Savannah Club, of course, and this lady had lines outside. What was going on? She said, I'm only letting 3 people in at a time, and you can only get blah, blah, blah. So I went in there on Sunday, and I got what I had to do very orderly, and I explained to her what happened. She said, oh, no, that would never happen here. So I just wanted to get your take on that and get your opinion of it.
I think that the attitude of those people that you encountered in your first stop was abysmal, and they should have definitely dealt with them, and I applaud you for bringing that to the attention of the manager, because that's just ridiculous. And we got Winnie on line 1. Yes, Winnie.
Yeah, how y'all doing over there?
Okay.
Good. And I got a question to ask you. Okay, they talk about the stimulus money up to $1,200, and I see it on CNN on the phone. They were talking about people who file for the income tax. They're gonna give it to them and put on the tax. Okay, I'm on Social Security. I get regular Social Security. What about people in my category? Do we get any stimulus money?
Well, let me give you the shock.
Uh,
I'm gonna give you a big shock, because I had to tell this to Chuck a few months back. So evidently you think because
I can't hardly hear you, Rudy. What's the answer?
Okay, I'm going to give you a big shock. I gave this same shock to Chuck a few months back. I guess you think because you're getting Social Security, you don't have to pay taxes, correct?
Right.
Wrong. Your Social Security income is taxable.
Oh.
So if you have never been paying taxes on your Social Security, surprise, 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 you probably owe some money. And since you haven't filed your taxes, I'm not the authority of how they're going to distribute the money. That would mean that your name is not going to show up on the rolls in order for you to qualify to get the checks.
Hmm.
Now,
So you really don't know?
No, I'm telling you already. Now, what you can do is, I'm guessing you may not have owed a lot of money, and I don't know how far back you go, having not filed taxes. You can file an amended return for the years that you did not file taxes, but your Social Security income is taxable.
Hmm. Oh man.
That's
I don't know.
That's the same thing Chuck said when I told him that. He didn't know because he was doing his own taxes. And I said, Chuck,
Okay, what
you're
if my neighbor gets Social Security disability? What about them? Do they get any stimulus money?
if they file taxes. And let me tell you.
Only way you get the stimulus money, you got to file taxes.
They gotta have a way to identify you. So the way to identify you follow me? If you haven't filed taxes, how can they identify you? Now I'm going on logic. I don't know that to be 100% accurate, but I'm telling you that if they're going to pay you, they got to have some method of identifying you in order to pay you. And I can't think of any other way that they could identify you. How could they identify you to give you money if you've never paid any taxes? Now, let me tell you how far back that goes. When Ronald Reagan did his first major tax cut for the rich, part of the solution for giving people the tax cut money is he placed a tax on Social Security. So you've had to pay Social Security taxes since the 80s. So I don't know how long you've been on Social Security, but you owe taxes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
That's what I want to ask you.
Oh, all righty. We got Jay on line 3. Man, I haven't heard from you in a while, buddy.
Every now and then, but then I was just very fortunate. I got a chance to travel, and I traveled before all of this happened.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm well rested, and I'm back. I'm home and ready to, just hunkering down and following all the rules and regulations and doing everything to protect myself from, well, actually, it's a matter of life and death, really.
Yeah.
You can't get out there at our age. We can't take that chance to be around any group of people and, just not wash your hands and or wear some kind of protective gear on your hands. What I do when I go in the store, I got some, rubber gloves I wear. And when I'm handling the cart or whatever it is, I have my gloves on. So I just think about it doing that way. Then I wash my hands again when I get home and clean it up. But anyway, what I wanted to say was, you're right about Governor Cuomo. He's a breath of fresh air.
Yes, sir.
I'm just so proud of him because I remember when he's, when his father was in and he was always part of the administration doing something with, different agencies. And he's just, it's like two different worlds when you have these press conferences. And I'm very upset. And I wonder when the media is going to get it. Not to, when they have these press conferences every day about this plague, it should only be the professionals talking about it. It should be Dr. Fauci and the doctors talking. They should be informing the public what's happening and what they need to do. Not listen to Trump do his campaign speech, because that's what he's doing right now. He was on for the last hour after they talked about the pandemic. He's on there talking about everything else but that. And it's all about him and about him he's campaigning. And I don't know how the networks take their time, take off other important news items that come on around 6 o'clock and 6:30, and listen to that. I just can't understand why they pipe into it when they know what's going on. It's really, to me, it's embarrassing and it's disrespectful to the doctors and the people that are the professionals who know what's going on. It's I don't know what your take is on it, but
well,
I think
kidding
they need
me?
to change that.
I have seen the face of Dr. Fauci when he's standing behind Trump with his head down in his hands as Trump's talking. But you know what is more frustrating to me than the media? is all of the apologists that continue to support him no matter how many lies he tells, and he stands up there and he tells bald-faced lies. The doctors come right up behind him and say in a very gentle way that he was lying, and people still support him. And then he make excuses for why he said what he said. That is what really has me upset to the tilt, because I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's
I can,
amazing. To me.
and I can say this, and I said this earlier today to somebody in an email. I promise you to God, I'm raising my hand. If there was a Democrat in the White House that was acting like that and lying like that, they would never get my support. Never.
No. You know, to me, I remember when President Obama wore a tan suit.
Oh, yeah.
On some occasion. There was something going on, and he just had on a tan suit on. And you would think it was the end of the world. And you had some of these conservative people out there talking about they need to impeach him. They need to take him down. He's disrespecting the office. And oh man, they went off. Of course, the man had on a tan suit. Now all of these things, and just about every day, this guy's lying, and he's causing people's lives. I think a man lost his life listening to Trump talk about some kind of portion. Something that can, said that this ought to be able to do it is, some kind of a thing that he heard. I guess it's some kind of remedy or something somebody told him, probably one of those, Jerry Paul or son or somebody told him about. And this guy perished, and the wife had she wrote a long thing, it was like an email or whatever it was, and she was very upset that her husband, followed it because he thought it was the president was telling him the truth about taking this thing to cure this coronavirus, and it caused him his life. And it just goes on and on with this character, and to me it's just appalling. And I think that this governor here, he's not any better, because to me a governor, just like if he wants to find out what a governor is, he needs to watch and listen to and take lessons from Governor Cuomo.
Oh my God,
that's
yes.
what this governor here, DeSantis, needs to do, because he seems like he's lost. He let all his youngsters come into the state, having beach parties and all that, and it's going all over the place, all over the world. They got pictures of it all over the place saying, look what happened in Florida. Yeah. And he's sitting around twiddling his fingers. So that's what happened. That's why elections have consequences.
Yes, they do.
Rudy.
Yes, they do.
And that's what we got to do. And they better come up with, if we still having problems with this pandemic, they better have where everybody can mail in their ballot. It's not that difficult for the government to set it up.
You know they don't want to do
about state rights.
You know they don't want to do that.
Make sure everybody has their constitutional right and duty to vote.
They're not.
No nonsense.
You know they're not going to do that, right?
It's going to be a battle out there if they don't. It's going to be a lot of problems if they try to play the games.
Well, you know they're not going to do it.
Character to stay in, huh?
You know they're not going to do it, because if they make it so that everybody can do a mail-in ballot, that would obviate voter suppression. You can't make people stand in long lines. You can't thwart their ID at the check-in table. They're just not going to do it. It makes sense, and it should be done, but they're just not going to. I can tell you now, it's not going to happen. It should happen, but I don't think it will happen at all. But Jay, I got to let you know, I got some calls backed up here.
Okay, I just wanted to touch base. Take care of yourself.
Okay, thanks, Jay. Good to hear from you. And we got Steve on line 2. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
You're on the air, Steve.
Yes.
You're on the air.
Yes.
Okay, Rudy. I was just watching the Bleach Blonde Bozo, and he actually said that the reason that we're saved because he's in charge.
Yes.
You know, I almost threw a TV remote through a $3,000 flat screen.
Yeah.
That's how mad I am at this phony. He blamed the press, called you the fake press. If I was there, I'd have jumped up and said, listen, you've been documented lying 18,000 times. We're not believing you now. He wants to open the country because he said some parts in the Midwest are hardly affected. Oh, gee, that's warming. You know what? I've got all 5 categories, and I can't even get a test. And he's saying, oh, we got all these tests and everything. When is the press going to stand up and say, you're a liar? Stop lying. Get some guts, you guys.
Yes, I think it's reached a point.
Or hire me and send me there. I got the guts. I'm not scared of that bleach blonde bozo.
And he does it because he knows that's a line the press won't cross. They won't
Yeah,
call
he
won't
actually said that if he hadn't have been there, this would have been a catastrophe, and he was on it early when we know that Obama told him about it before he left. Yeah. And he fired all his intelligence people and health people. He was told again in February that it was going to become a pandemic. And he said, remember, it's just a wave of flu going through. Yeah. And that was a Saturday he was playing golf, and they were trying to get a hold of him all day.
Yep.
So this guy, anybody votes for this guy, as far as I'm concerned, is not an American, doesn't care about America, and certainly doesn't care about their family, because he can get them all killed the way he's talking.
Yeah.
You open up this economy again, just what happened in China. They opened up a part, and guess what? Within 3 days, a spike. It came back. And it's crazy. It's useless, stupid American better wake up, or he's not going to be an American anymore. He's just going to be a peasant.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, I have never been this mad since Vietnam.
Oh.
And, But the press has got to wake up and call him a liar when he lies. And I don't care what he says to the press, we'll back them. Because he's got a track record of 18,000 plus lies.
I get so frustrated when he just tells lies that are so easily verifiable. And then there's people out there defending the damn lies. They defend. I mean, I'm like, did you see what I just saw?
Well, you want some justice? Rand Paul held up a bill in the Senate for a week to get relief supplies out. Then he got the virus.
Right.
You know, there's the Lord's justice right there.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, they give him 4,000 respirators to New York. They need 30.
I know.
He's making it sound like he's coming to the rescue. Rescue to what? He wouldn't close our DeSantis, our governor, who was his handpicked stooge, wouldn't close the beaches. So now we've got about 500,000 college kids that are dispersed all over America who've been exposed. Palm Beach County has 19, as of yesterday, 3 deaths and mounting. And it's going to be a disaster. I've been quarantined for 3 years because of injuries, bad injuries. I've lived alone. Nobody comes over, blah, blah, blah. And I fortunately have friends who leave me cases of water and groceries on my front door. Those are friends.
Yes,
Those are neighbors helping neighbors, and that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yes,
I'm 70 years old, totally disabled. And if it wasn't for those guys, you'd be finding a body.
Well, bro, I'm going to pray for you, and thank you for calling.
Well, I'm going to pray for you.
Yeah.
And your children and your grandchildren, just like mine.
Yes, sir.
They're going to have to face the results of what this bozo has done.
Yes, that's a sad
so I'll let you go because, I mean, I got to take a pill to calm down.
Okay, Steve. Take care, my friend. All right. And we got Jeff on line 1. Yes, Jeff.
Hey, Rudy.
Yeah.
Just give me an update on what you're talking about. He was lying about giving a report. I'm confused.
Are you? Well, I could go through a list of all the. Let's see.
A list?
Oh yeah, I got a whole list here of things that he said.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead. If you have something specific that you want to say.
My concern was, do you really think that Donald Trump was the cause of the guy that ate aquarium cleaner?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay,
it had nothing to do with the aquarium cleaner.
No,
it had nothing to do with that product.
Well,
it was a product that sounded close to the name of the malaria vaccine.
It had to,
but it was not that product that the guy took. Now,
go ahead.
You can't be responsible for every, I guess, unintelligent person in the whole wide world that's going to try to do something that, is unexplainable. I don't care what in the world you would have said the name was on that personally. If it said aquarium cleaner on there, the last thing I would do would be taking it, ingesting it. But then again, if every person in this whole wide world, if everything goes wrong, it's going to be Trump's fault.
No.
It's like trying to get through this little thing together. Everybody's got to, stay together. But, it's like, and I saw on the radio today, in the news today, that the doctor that's running the whole show, I guess, said he said nothing but helpful and nothing but listening to him and nothing but taking his advice, and there's done nothing to refute or argue with him in any shape, fashion, or form.
That's not true.
So,
not true.
The man said it himself,
No.
Dr. Pucci. I sat there my whole life and saw that.
There was an article in New York Times this weekend.
I don't care what the article written by a New York Times reporter that's got a sludge up his butt for trying to hurt Trump. I'm telling you what the man, Dr. Pucci,
this is
said
the problem. This is the problem we have as a country, because if a conservative says it and you're a conservative, that's the gospel. Nobody else can give you countervening information that you can even consider. I will never in my life, I'm a hardcore Democrat, been one all my life. I will never get to the point where only thing that I can accept is another Democratic opinion. That is bizarre, and it's un-American. It's un-American for you to only think the only word that is of consequence is one that comes from a conservative. That's not American.
Where did that come from? I had nothing to say about that. I'm just trying to say the doctor that is running this whole show that says this president has stood behind him 100%. Then I hear from everybody else, like yourself and everybody, how he's mucking it all up and he's doing this and he's doing that. What is he doing?
Have you seen any of the press conferences with Trump? Have you?
What's that now?
Have you seen any of the press conferences with Trump?
I've seen, pretty much most of them. I'm sitting at the house doing what I'm told.
Okay. Have you seen Dr. Fauci standing behind Trump with his head in his hand, rubbing his forehead because the information that Trump is giving out is not accurate? And
Who told you that? Where did you come up with that? If the guy blew his nose, would that signal some other function?
Okay.
I mean, the guy's standing behind him. The guy's probably tired as hell because he's been working so much and working so hard.
Jeff, you're just a Trump apologist. That's what you are.
No, I'm just saying.
You're a Trump apologist.
I don't want this country being torn apart by the lies that are being told about people that aren't doing certain things.
Okay, so do you think?
And that's what we hear.
Do you think Trump lies?
I don't have any proof that he lied.
Okay,
nor do
okay,
I have any proof that anybody else has lied. And I don't sit there and call him a liar.
Okay, all right. What? Here's number one. Coronavirus will vanish in April. On February 10th, he said that a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat. That's number one. Let's go with lie number two. There will be okay. Wait, let me finish. Now you want to know? You said you don't know of any. I'm gonna give you some. There will be close to 0 cases of coronavirus within the next few days, which he said on February 26th. The president said, press conference, when you have 15 people and 15 within a couple days going to be down to close to 0. That's a pretty good job we've done. That was on February 26th. Okay? So, wait a minute. I don't want you to think I'm not getting you right here. Number 3, coronavirus is just like the flu. Number 4, coronavirus is under control because I closed the border. Okay? Now, That's number 4.
Whoa.
Okay, wait. He said that. He said the coronavirus is under control because I closed the border. Okay, number 5. Okay. Scientists are very close to releasing a vaccine. But it's not true. The CDC said developing a vaccine will take 12 to 18 months, including fully testing its safety and effectiveness. So
I saw it on TV today. They got one in the mill right now.
Okay, listen, you're asking me to tell you if he lied.
Well, that ain't a lie then. It's just like
Number six. Anyone can get tested for coronavirus. He said that, okay? Anyone can get tested for coronavirus. Anyone who wants a test can get a test. Was that true?
When did he say that? Where did he say that at?
He said that, they didn't give me a date on that one, but I heard him say that too. It was on his press conference. Okay. Tests aren't. Go ahead.
Goes up there and says, "I'm going to say this just to tell a lie about this whole thing here. I'm trying to tear this country apart. I'm trying to run everybody in the ground. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that."
No, I know.
I honestly think, and 60% of the other people in this country think he's doing a good job.
No, it is not 6. It's not 60%.
60%. It was on. It was on TV. You can just go right there and check it.
There's not.
Nobody can figure it out.
Let me tell you what we're at right now. Because conservatives are intolerant of people who do not think the same way they think or speak the same language they speak. People who are conservatives or Republicans will not admit that they don't like him. I know plenty of conservatives that do not like him. They won't say it out loud. They won't say it out loud because they'll be ostracized by other Republicans and conservatives. So,
I want the man to run.
You do?
Yes, I want him to run the country and do it proficiently.
Do you think he's done? Do you think he's done that now?
I'm thinking as far as this coronavirus, myself and 60% of the United States thinks he is.
No, 60% of the United States.
Yeah, it is. It's way up there.
It's
Rudy.
not
It's
60%. It is not 60%. I am not going to let you. I'm not going to let you tell that. That might be his approval rating for handling of the current coronavirus thing. His overall approval rating is not no 60%.
Except his highest ratings ever.
I think it is his highest ratings ever, but it's not 60%.
Just holding on there. But
okay.
It's all this negativism that's being created that's causing the biggest trouble in our society. In this world.
You think so?
And there's a lot of negativism. If we'd have treated Obama like that, there'd have been World War II going on. If we would have called Obama out every time he.
You said if you had treated Obama like that? Are you kidding me?
Because you are dedicated.
Are you kidding me? You got to be. You got to be kidding me to make that statement. Wow, yeah, you better hang up.
They gave Obama the same stuff that Trump's getting now. It's back before Obama. I made a prediction because when Obama was elected, the hatred towards Bush was so strong. I said that hate snowball is not going to be able to stop. It's going to roll right over to the next president, and it did. Well, and now it's like payback for payback. Now it's like the whole country is divided now, and folks, we don't allow filibustering on any of our shows. I will control the volume of you if you try to shout down or filibuster Rudy, because it's his show, and you're dealing with it. All right, let's continue.
Yes. Oh my God, my blood pressure just went up to about 9,000. What if we treated Obama like that? Oh my God, I can't even believe that he said that. Wow, I got to get myself calmed down about that. Listen, I bet you they pulled every trash can, looked under every rock to try to find something on Obama, but there was nothing to find because he was clean. That's the basic thing. We got AC on line 1. Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Howard. No, I'm not a sir.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry.
No apologies necessary. It's not a big deal. How could you tell?
Okay.
I just wanted to say I do listen to your show a lot of times. I really appreciate it. I know all this controversy about whether our president is speaking the truth, whether he's being honest, and everything else. I just personally believe that we all need to kind of step back a little bit from the hatred for this guy, okay, and really kind of look at the fact is he doing a pretty good job, okay? Is he trying? Is he trying to unite the country and everything else? And we as Americans need to kind of unite a little bit more than try to be divided, especially with something like this. I'm not a germaphobe. I'm one of those people that believes a little dirt don't hurt. I'm kind of weirded out with all of this. And it's just struck me that something odd has happened here because it's affected so much of the world. So we need to step back from, we're not a party, we're the United States of America, and we're all Americans.
Okay, you get no argument out of me about that. None at all. I feel as strongly as you do about that. But what I have a problem with is his constant lying. I got a problem with that. And he does it in your face, and then people apologize for him for doing it. And I just think that that's just insane. I mean, we can go all the way. Look, listen, we can go back to when he said Obama was not an American. Then he said he was putting his private investigators on it out to Hawaii, and he went out there and they found something very interesting, and we'll hear about it soon. No, we never heard about it because there was nothing, because President Obama was an American. But that was the start of his popularity, from saying a lie like that. He says in a press conference recently that yes, there are masks available for the hospitals. I just got finished looking at a show where the doctors and the nurses are pleading for masks and protective equipment. Now, how are you going to bring the country together when you tell a bald-faced lie like that? I find that very upsetting.
How can I put this? Okay. I was not fond of President Obama for various reasons, okay, but I would have never wished for the man to have failed our country. Never, okay. Didn't like some of the things that he did, didn't like some of his politics for various reasons, yet I never wished for him to fail. Unfortunately, I think that there's such a high, how can I put it, displaced anger, okay, towards this president because they can't lash out at anybody else. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, to me, I look at it as I'm not going to blame Obama and say he was in office all these years. Why didn't they have all these masks? Why didn't they do this? Because they didn't. Okay, so, oh well, straight up on that one, right? Nobody thought we were going to be in this position. I don't think anybody ever dreams of something this bad. Nobody wants a nuclear bomb dropped on them, and this is similar. So, again, I'm going to go back to, if he's saying, do you want him to come in and say, we are so screwed right now, we don't have shit in the goddamn bank? Pardon my French, I'm sorry, I can't say that on TV, on the radio. I do apologize. But what do you want? What do you want? Do we want mass hysteria? Because that's what we have right now with the people that are going and creating their own shortage.
No.
And whether you like him or not, you don't have to sleep with him. I think he's done a good job for the country overall. Whether you like him or not, I don't care if you like him personally, you don't like his tan, don't like his hair, don't like his wife, don't like his kid. But there has to be, if you can acknowledge, if anybody can acknowledge and say, he's done some good, he's done nothing all bad. And it's the type of thing, just like Obama didn't do everything all bad, and he didn't walk on water either. Okay, they're human beings, and they do the best they can with the advisors that they have. so be it. This is where we are. How do we unite and stop the backbiting, okay, carrying on, okay, that is not helping anything? If he came out and said, we have nothing, we have no masks, we have nothing, okay, nothing is being manufactured, we're all dead. What do you think would happen right now? You have people almost ready to shoot each other over toilet paper and paper towels.
Well, I think, let me say this to you. I think I said this earlier to, I think his name was Paul. He wanted to know why there is such a disjointed response from people. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that people hear him say one thing, then the doctors come up and they say something else different than what he just said. Now, you're already...
I've heard that. I've seen it.
Yeah, of course you've seen it if you've seen it. And now let me say something else to you. I have never in my life wished that a president failed because I love my country. But I will tell you, for the first time in my life, I cannot stand this man. This man is horrible. He is embarrassment to me. And when you say that you didn't do it to President Obama, do you not remember Mitch McConnell saying his number one objective the day after President Obama was elected was to make Obama a one-term president? He said it out loud. Rush Limbaugh said, what Rush Limbaugh said, he was rooting for Obama to fail. Don't tell me you didn't hear those things.
No, to be honest with you, I really didn't pay attention at that level, but I did. Okay, I will say this. And I believe it was done, okay, just like it's being done to this president, because I guess we have we have a need for that kind of craziness. And I don't think it's good. I don't think it helps people. It's not nice. We're not nice. It's politics. They suck, okay? That's what they do. Going back to this is not our regular day-to-day, we're going to bash whichever president's in there and we hate them and want to set them on fire. This is a different situation. We have older people that you can't even go into a nursing home because they just might catch a virus. Younger people are finding out that they're not immune. So there's something different. There's a different dynamic going on here. And I will tell you what I am, not that I am, I'm a human being, but I relate to the Frederick Douglass Republicans. That's my political affiliation.
And I saw them when they came to Martin County, but the show's over. Thank you for calling. Call back.
Well, thank you, and stay blessed, stay safe,
you
stay
too.
Away from germs, and all right,
okay,
bye.
All right, and folks, I'd like to thank you for listening to the African American Scene. God bless, be safe, and I will see you next Wednesday right here for the African American Scene.
The African American Scene with Rudy Howard is presented by Howard Insurance of Port St. Lucie. Video archives of this show are on YouTube at www.wpsltv.com. It takes you directly to our YouTube presence. This is WPSL Port St. Lucie. It's 7 o'clock.